this, just telling Roger, I've loved my conversations with Jared. Those few events that he was part of. I mean, I really liked speaking to him, and he kept coming for, we only, I think, about 4 events that he came for, but it was really nice meeting him. So let me just put out there what we are doing here. This is what we're doing. So what I'm going to do, Roger, is I'm going to get you in later. First, let me put out the Jared that I knew. So that's the one I am remembering, and of course,
we don't hear any of the audio of the video.
okay, so let me get back to that. 1 sec. What I'm going to do is what I'll do, Roger, the ones that you people put up, I think that's also a very nice tribute to Jared. Let me put this up.
Yeah, Vikram, Jared's sisters Noelani and Michaela helped put together this website where people actually contributed pictures and lots of stories and wonderful condolences, and it was a really nice kind of compilation of people from different parts of Jared's life, some that we knew really well and some that we were meeting for the first time that got to say a few things and remember Jared in lots of different ways. So for folks that don't know him or only know a certain part of his life, this actually worked out really well. We got to see his professional life, his life in school, all the way back to his childhood, and gave many people chances to share their memories, and it was kind of like how we connected with you. His life in mediation and arbitration really opened up for us as people were able to share some of the stories here and some of their experiences with him and how he impacted their lives.
I mean, that's the thing, so that you get to know that how many lives a person touches, and you don't even know about that because obviously you would not have met those people earlier, and then you find out that yes, there's such nice memories. I think that's
in many of the professional associations that he belonged to, and the conferences that he went to, we didn't see the behind the scenes work that people that were on sub teams with him were able to share, and so that was really nice for us to see.
Well, that's why I wanted to play that video, because I mean, of course, it is lying there on YouTube, but just the fact that the conversation that you have, the connection that you make, and for me, even connections on Zoom are as good. I mean, of course, the physical world, yes, definitely, but I think the Zoom connections also for me is as good. So.
If you go to the About tab, there's the Google Drive that has on the far left that has a couple of the links, including some of the things that Jared wrote. We put together in small little booklets. But go to the update at the top. And if you're able to play the video link at the top on September 12th, there it is on Read More.
This one?
There's about a 12-minute video. Yeah.
So I think I had opened that on my thing. But first, I actually.
Did you have to download it?
No, I didn't download it because I thought I'll play it directly from there. But I still want to play the one that the last conference that I did. I want because like I said, that's the Jared for me. So yeah.
You should be able to play it. Did you share the computer sound?
No, I'm just doing that. I was just checking. So I'm going live. We're going live, and we'll have our conversation as we go along there. So, of course, Jared, thank you very much for being part of the conference, and of course, all the other wonderful discussions that you've been part of. It's been, quite interesting talking about Ombuds, and I'm really interested in that because of this creating this space for an organizational mediator. So you've, of course, heard me on that. But I'm going to let
thank you so much.
Thank you. But I'm going to let you come in, and it's going to be you in just 1 minute. Let me just put up what we're doing so that it's just out there. Conference, I would have asked you to tell me about the conference, but have you watched some sessions? Have you familiar with what's happening?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what it is. The World Mediators Conference. Last year, you were also part of it. We had a session there also. And every year now, 18th May, Ken Cloke's birthday, we start this conference because for me, he's like the grand old man of mediation in the world. So to celebrate that, I celebrate that as World Mediators Day. I used to keep saying I celebrate it. Now because other people have joined the celebration, I'm saying we celebrate it. And of course, organizational mediator versus organizational ombuds, and also lots of interesting topics which we can get into later. But first we have to find out about Jared. Please, Jared, I know you, but let's just a little introduction.
Sure, of course. Well, thanks for consistently hosting these areas of discussion and conversation for topics of dispute resolution to be discussed, and the importance of that in highlighting all the different interesting aspects. You have such a wide and broad level of categories surrounding mediation and things surrounding dispute resolution overall. And so I really appreciate just being able to have these conversations with people around the world. About myself, my name is Jared. I am have a background of being out of California in the United States. I went to Pepperdine's law school, the Strauss Institute for Dispute Resolution, to study dispute resolution. And that kind of started me on this path where I have mediated in the LA Superior Courts, as well as on Oahu, as for their family and their district courts, and continue to do a little bit of that today. I have helped out as kind of the case managers with mediation systems for nonprofits, and have now been an ombuds. I switched over, and I've been an ombuds at UC Irvine for the past couple of years. I've greatly been enjoying that, and also look forward to continuing to see where I go next.
Oh, that's really nice. The thing is, yesterday we had a session, and it ended up as more like a Pepperdine reunion kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, these people themselves, of course, one did not know, the others were. When the introduction happened, 3 of them were. Another one joined us. He was. Then someone else joined us. She was from Pepperdine. I mean, it was quite an interesting kind of thing. So
I'll have to go back and watch that one. No, but yeah, Pepperdine definitely has a very robust program, and I've been fortunate to join one that has been robust for a while. So it has a lot of alumni that has come from there, and it's interesting. I still interact with some of them or run into other people that I hadn't known before in the dispute resolution field, and because of that connection.
In anything, I mean, you must watch that. It was a very interesting session. It was on diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging, and mediation. So it was, I mean, I like that. It was obviously, look, I like all the conversations, all of them. I enjoy each of them. But what we need to do you think we, for a minute, we can put up the schedule and just have a look at it? If you're good. And of course, I think Jared, of course, has introduced himself, but maybe later I'll take you through one report that Georgetown had put out. Daniela has been part of our discussions, and so, Roger, I'll come back to that. Let me just put that, your video that you put out there. Let me put that. I hope it plays seamlessly, although it's going to be directly from the Google Drive. If it doesn't, then I'll download it and play it.
Dreams that you dream of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dream of, dreams really do come true. Someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Be where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney top. That's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dream that you dare to, oh why can't I? Oh, someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Be where trouble melts like a lemon drops, high above the chimney top. That's where you find me, oh.
I was scared of pretty girls and starting conversations. All my friends are turning green. You're the magician's assistant in their dreams.
Oh, laughter from the parents.
Oh, and they come unstuck.
Lady, running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man, and I love you when you're singing that song, 'cause I got a lump in my throat, 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong.
Is this movie that I think you like? This guy decides to quit his job and head to New York City. This cowboy's running from himself.
Take each round at a time, and we will choose from this little bag to see who will do what. It's quite a mystery. For
Only
everyone.
one person is doing.
An appetizer at a
Ooh, and they come unstuck. Lady, running down to
Kasha. Oh, that's right. Oh, they smell good. Ooh, time for
What time
cinnamon
is it?
rolls. Said that at the same time.
I just wanna know if you're gonna stay. I just gotta know. I can't have it any other way. I swear she's destined for the screen. Closest thing to Michelle Pfeiffer that you've ever seen. Oh, lady, running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. Oh, lady, running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. Oh, lady, running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. Yeah, I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong.
Hope when you take that jump, you don't feel the fall. Hope when the water rises, you build a wall. Hope when the crowd screams out, you're screaming your name. Hope if everybody runs, you choose to stay. Hope that you fall in love and it hurts so bad. Hey, the only way you can know, you give it all you had. And I hope that you don't suffer, but take the pain. Hope when the moment comes, you'll say, I did it all. I did it all. I owned every second that this world could give. I saw so many places, the things that I did. Yeah, with every broken bone, I swear I lived. Hope that you spend your days, but they all add up. And when that sun goes down, hope you raise your cup. Oh, I wish that I
joining me this morning is one of those participants of the Movers and Shakas program. Now I'm here with Jared Lee. Jared, you were part of one of the initial waves that first came here. More are expected to come, but first tell me, what is the Movers and Shakas program for those who don't know about it?
Yeah, the Movers and Shakas program is a program that attracts and integrates key talent into the islands to have people volunteer, but also learn about the culture and what really Hawaii is about. It's not about just visiting, but understanding the people, the culture, and the history, but also having an opportunity to give back and to work with nonprofits. My grandma grew up in the North Shore, and she would tell stories of how she would work in the pineapple fields in the summer, and my grandpa, he grew up in Liliha area, and he'd tell about Kamehameha and other stories that all came to me, and these memories that could come to me secondhand, and so I didn't have all the experiences myself. I would always go for family reunions, and I went to explorations, but I didn't really have the opportunity till now to really dive deeper into what that means to me and how I could reconnect back with my family and my heritage. I'd be really excited to work with the pantries. After having 2 years of experience in a leadership position with a similar organization called Food Recovery Network, I've had the opportunity to help set up food pantries, as well as develop text-based applications to help people find that food, partner with schools and nonprofits and Chamber of Commerce's, and farms and grocery stores to help make more food accessible to people who need it, while also reducing food waste. It's a cause I hold very closely to my heart, and I'd be more than happy to help out the pantry with their own aspirations to expand.
Hi, Michelle. I'm really sorry about Jared.
Hello, Vikram.
I know, I mean, you
Oh,
came in on the 5th.
thank you.
I wanted to, of course, say this to you then, but you, I think, left immediately. I think you were also finding it odd that what's happening here. I mean, whatever. So I'm
Right.
sorry. And both of you raised a wonderful boy. And
Thank you.
I always used to,
I just wanted to say I also had learned so much from Jared about mediation. He really exemplified it, but he also shared some of the skills because I was interested in it as well. And I think some of the things that really stood out to me about what he told me was the points about the needs and interests of people that you're working with and how important that is. I know these are all things that your audience already knows, being in the mediation field, but for me, I'm a newbie to that dispute resolution. And so it was very impactful just hearing him talk about needs and interests, talking about empathy and about what that meant, about feelings, understanding people's feelings. They're not so much understanding people's feelings, actually. What he had really taught me about was feeling people's feelings, which was something quite a bit different. So another thing that I had remembered was where he talked about peace and about aiming for peace. You get to peace, but aiming for the truth, you don't always get to peace. And so little tidbits like that really helped me appreciate the field and appreciate the work that he was doing. Obviously, he didn't talk about cases, but he just talked about the skills that he used in his life and he used in mediation and in building relationships and restoring relationships. And I thought that was so valuable to learn about that. And I do have the video from the professor Steve Rotman, who's also well known in the field. If you'd like me to share,
please,
to show
please,
that
please.
from the service. Okay. Let me just pull that up.
But the important thing, Michelle, is that I kept saying that he had the mediator mindset, and that mediator mindset is something that I've discussed on all my events, that it doesn't come through a 40-hour factory. It is something that is in you and comes through various aspects. And I've discussed that. There's a show of mine called Evolution of a Mediator. And one of the important things that I always say is the upbringing, the value system that a person is born in and grows in. So what you people gave him, the value system that you gave him, was really important for that mediator mindset, because you don't have too many people with the mediator mindset in the world, which I will put through in that conference that we did. We discussed that also. I'll put that there. But what you played, your role of bringing him up, was a very important aspect of that mediator mindset developing and evolving as it went along. Yeah, please.
And Vikram, if I could share something that maybe a lot of the professional folks, the folks that he worked with as an ombuds, don't know about Jared. You'll notice that on the websites and on the video, we have his full name. So in my family, everyone has 3 middle names, and Jared's Hawaiian middle name is Keli'ikuikahi. So he was giving that name even before he was born. And what Keli'ikuikahi means, Kele'i means chief or leader, and Kuakahi means peacemaker. And so even before he was born, his name was Chief Peacemaker. And maybe some of it is upbringing, but Jared really had a heart for solving conflict and bringing people together ever since he was a little kid. Did that all the way through growing up, high school, college. And when he discovered, I might say, the whole field of mediation and alternative dispute resolution, he was able really to blossom in an area that he had a passion for, but he also had the skill for it and really enjoyed it. So we have to give Pepperdine and the Strauss Institute and also UC Irvine credit for giving him that opportunity to explore those areas, because he like Michelle was saying, he didn't consider mediation and being an ombuds as just a skill or a field of interest. He really looked at it as a way of rebuilding relationships and solving problems in the world in ways in which you can't do in other ways, and really bringing people together. It's not just about solving one situation or one problem, but it's really this holistic thing about making this place a better place to live, this earth a better place to live in. And he jumped into it with both feet and had a real passion for it. So I thought I'd give you a little bit of that background about his name, Keli'ikuikahi.
No, that's what everything that you're saying is exactly what I keep talking about. That some people have that in them. For them, it's a way of life. And that's what it is. I mean, just something that you do naturally. It's not work for you. Yes, you maybe be employed somewhere doing it, but it just comes from within. And that evolution, of course, keeps taking place. But that heart, and I mean, I use the heart, soul, spirituality aspect of those people. And I always keep saying there are not too many of them. So we have to value them. And of course, we always valued Jared. So yeah, Michelle. But you want Peyton to say something? Peyton, do you want to, before Michelle puts on the video, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I'll just lift up everything and introduce myself. I'm Peyton Sokit. I'm a friend of Jared's. I went to Pepperdine University with him in undergrad. And we also graduated together out of Strauss at Pepperdine as well. So him and I got to, grow together as mediators, and he as an ombuds, and just talk about what our classes were like, how this was impacting us, how it felt like home going into these classes and going into this field. It was a deeper calling for us. I think a field we didn't really know actually existed. And so when we understood that these were spaces, that there were others like us who had this mediator mindset that you were talking about, it was just this kind of resounding connection. And Jared really just took off with it. It seemed like every time we would go for a hike or a walk, he was telling me about a paper he was writing, or a new position he was looking at. And it always just fascinated me, just kind of the light in his eyes when he would discuss this, because it really did just come natural. So I'm really appreciative of you, Mediator Vikram, for creating this space just to honor his legacy as an ombuds and as a peacemaker during this time. And he certainly is and will always be a role model for me in this field, and somebody whose legacy I hope to continue to be a part of, as I do what it is that I've been called to do as well. So, yeah.
Oh, that's really nice.
So,
yeah. But Michaela's also there. I don't know whether she wants to come in or not. But yes, Michelle, please, you want to play some video?
Okay, let me bring this up.
Noe is also there. I don't know whether we'll get them in later. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Sorry, just a second.
Yeah.
I also just want to say it's good to see you all, everybody. Michelle, Roger, Michaela, Noe. It's good to see you all.
But Peyton, you do go and meet them. Do you go and meet Michelle and Roger?
Good to see you too, Peyton.
Yeah, I live in the Bay Area. I'm based in the Bay Area. So I get to see them every so often. But yeah, I'm in LA right now, actually.
Yes, you must go and see them. I mean,
yeah.
Peyton, you probably saw glimpses of Peyton in the video. And those are some of my favorite clips of Peyton and Jared body surfing on the east side of Oahu. And as you guys are coming in on that last wave, you're looking at each other, smiling, having fun. That's one of my favorite shots.
Jared, sorry about that. I'm having a little trouble bringing it up. Hold on just a second. I mean, continue, please, but I'll try to bring it up.
If you're looking for it up till then, can I play my video?
Oh, I have it here, but it's playing. I just can't seem to find where it went. I can hear it playing in the background. Sorry about that.
No, please take your time. Mandy is here. Mandy, I don't know whether she wasn't part of the discussions that we had with Jared, but Mandy is in Greece. She's in a beautiful island in Greece called Zakynthos. And of course, she also is one of those people who feels the whole thing, the whole aspect of getting people together and that mediator mindset. Yes, Mandy? We can't hear you, so we can't hear you. That's
now you can hear me?
Yeah.
I was saying that I'm very touched for this.
Most of the time, Mandy is driving from here to there. Yes, Mandy. Now we can hear you. You got cut off in the middle.
I was saying that it's very touching and sensitive, this conversation and this reminder. I'm very touched to see that this wisdom and mindset is so so coming from inside. So this thing that wise and good men become in late ages is very obvious here that it is not true, and it is very beautiful to find these qualities in young people who would be so nice to be for many years on earth to help others, of course, but sometimes the example and the beauty of these souls is always alive and strong. So who knows, maybe it could bring important things, even as a very beautiful example. And with this purity that a young person has, and these nice intentions and sensitive qualities, because I many times believe that mediation is a very child thing. It's as we are when we are children, without bad feelings and this tough thing that we become from ages and difficulties. It's a very sensitive thing, and I'm very touched to see that this beautiful person had the chance from the family he grew in and the studies he had, and he had the time to connect with you, dear Vikram, and the word mediation circle, so we can find inspiration from this beautiful soul and keep him alive.
Lovely message. Yes, Mandy.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Michelle.
Oh, whenever
My,
we can,
my
I
best
think I have it up.
feelings for you.
Thank you, Mandy.
Thank you.
Can you see that?
Yep. What, Michelle, what you might need to do is just, if you stop the share screen, when you start the share screen, there's a, on the bottom, you'll find optimize video clip. So you'll have to just click that and then start the video again. So
Oh,
you'll have
okay.
I'll just stop the share screen for
Go
you.
back.
Yeah.
Stop share screen. Okay, then hit share screen.
At the bottom, you'll find those two.
Oh, optimize for
Yes,
video
yeah,
clip
yeah,
and share
yeah,
sound.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just click
Yep.
that.
Sorry about that. Let me just back up to the beginning. There we go.
Hi, everybody. I'm sorry to be talking to you for this reason. My name is Steve Rotman, and I had the great privilege of teaching Jared at Strauss Institute at Pepperdine. He was a student in my advanced mediation seminar in 2020. And Jared was probably the youngest by far of all of the students. Most of the people in the class were accomplished lawyers, maybe even judges, second career people, certainly primarily lawyers. And here's this kid, still in college, who comes in with poise. He's got this energy about him, and this, like a cat. He's like looking around, he's got this light in his eyes. And he absorbed everything there was to absorb. But he wasn't a cat. He was more like, more of a dog person than a cat person, I would say, because he was just kind, and everyone looked to Jared. They loved Jared, and I loved Jared as a student and as a person. He was just the one I could always count on to get what I was saying. And when I looked and I was confused, maybe people weren't understanding my point, I could look at him and he would kind of nod at me like, yeah, I get it. When people with decades of legal experience were not. He's just a huge, huge asset to the class community. And then he proved that. He proved how much he really took from the trainings we did and the readings and his own life experience when the next year in 2021, he stomped the mediation competition, which I got to enjoy and judge. And it was just so much fun to see Jared, young Jared, take over this process and come out as a champion over these much more seasoned people, including some other students of mine, all of whom were very happy for Jared when he won this. And then Jared came back to my class several times over the following years to visit with other students and to help teach and to share how, what his journey was, because very few people make it in this field. And he somehow landed right in the field after college. Just a total superstar and a talent that we have lost in the world and in the mediation community in particular. So I want to share with the family, those who love Jared, something that he shared with me, which points out the kind of young man he was. I went back and I looked at this again because I kept it all these years, and it was Jared's last journal. Every week the students would journal about the class we did, and he did brilliant journals and shared them with the class. But here's how he ended his final journey to me, and I never could have done this as a young person. Here's what he said to me. Overall, this incredible class has helped me open my eyes and heart to what mediation could be. Mediation is more than the process and offers. It is even more than the settlement or even relationships. Mediation is an opportunity to reconnect people to each other, to humanity, and to themselves. There may be many ways to make those connections, but this class showed me how music, poetry, stories, history, and shared experience could lead to that human connection and shared humanity. Doing so can result in open-mindedness, forgiveness, reconciliation, resolution, understanding, empathy, and even love. It was an honor to share this time and experience with an incredible professor and brilliant students. This incomprehensible loss is one that will stay with us forever, but so will the mark that he made on this world. I'm really going to miss him, and congratulations to those of you who raised such an incredible young man.
Oh, that's a lovely message. And what Jared wrote about mediation, I mean, I keep saying that mediation is like the blind man and the elephant situation. Everyone has their understanding of mediation, but the one that he was talking about is the kind of mediation that I promote and I talk about: the humanistic approach, the relationship aspect, again, the heart, soul, spirituality part of it. So he, connected on that level, which is what I really liked. But Michelle, please, you wanted to play the other videos also. Let's also see those.
Oh, if you would like me to, both of them, or
Yeah,
were you
please.
interested in- Oh, okay, sure.
Somewhere in the middle, I'll also play my video, but yes.
Okay. Stephanie, Stephanie Blondell and Jennifer, let's see. This.
But this, Michaela is there. Michaela, you want to come in? You want to say hi to us? Noe, anything to say?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
It's good to see everybody and grateful for you making this space, Vikram. It's always good to kind of reflect and think about Jared in these ways. And for us as the family, and for me as his sister, it's been such a blessing to hear about Jared from people who knew different parts of his life. So I really appreciate that.
When you say family, here in India, we have this concept of the world is one family. So he was part of my family as much as yours.
Okay, here we go. Oh, sorry.
everybody.
Wrong one. That's not sharing the right video. Hold on a second. Let me go back.
This Zoom technology can be tough.
Yeah.
Real tough.
Well, yeah, sorry.
Roger, where was that photo taken that's behind you?
Peyton, that was Machu Picchu in Peru.
Hi there, my name
Here we go. Sorry.
is Stephanie Blondell, and I am a professor of law and practice at the Caruso School of Law at Pepperdine and the Strauss Institute for Dispute Resolution. And Jared was one of my most treasured and favorite students. It's poignant to share memories of Jared. And I think it's because so many of my memories were touching. The first time he came to my office and talked about potentially doing the master's in dispute resolution as he was completing his undergraduate certificate in dispute resolution, he was so passionate, so lit up by dispute resolution, really on fire. Rarely do I have students who kind of have that quality of being on fire and having a lot that they want to do and accomplish, and Jared did. He made such a huge impact. Jared, I had him as a student in a couple classes, but a lot of my sweet memories come from Jared winning our mediation competition, where he just was stunning and competed against, I think, 12 or 15 students to emerge as the top in a mediation. We call it competition, but it's really, it wasn't a competition as much as a cooperative effort, but we did have a finalist, and it was Jared. Jared was it. And then the next year we had the opportunity for those people who had done well and scored high to come back and serve. And that's what Jared did. He came back and was the head of the mediation competition honor board, and really led the whole thing, was the MC for the next mediation competition, worked tirelessly editing the role plays that the students would use, fine-tuning them, writing them, and just with such professionalism. That's the thing about Jared. Everything he did, there was an excellence, right? An excellence to it. My heart hurts. My heart hurts for me, for my other colleagues who just miss him like crazy, and for my students who are hurting because Jared's touch was not light. So God bless to his family, to his friends, as and to all of us as we're making sense of something. It's so so hard to make sense of. I'm hoping in this time that each of us can grow closer to God as we understand this very human experience we're having of grief. Jared, one of the things we're doing at Pepperdine is starting a scholarship, and this was initiated by several students who wanted to somehow, memorialize the impact that Jared had. So I'm going to read to you a little bit about the scholarship fund that's been set up in Jared's name. The Strauss Institute is collecting donations to award a deserving recipient a one-time scholarship to carry on the work that was important to Jared, including advancing the Ombuds industry and integrating conflict resolution and mediation into Christian communities of faith. Gifts should be directed to the existing Strauss Giving page, which may be found at, and I have a link here that we will make sure we share with you, and should include in the comment field in memory of Jared Lee. And just thank you to all of you who cared about Jared being remembered and helped us to make this happen. So I will be giving, and it was just with a reverence and a gratitude for Jared.
Michelle, you want to play the other video also? The one from the Ombuds director?
Sure. Okay, I will do that.
And that link to that scholarship page is available on the one on that tribute that you made.
Good afternoon. My name is Jennifer, and I have had the pleasure of working with Jared for the past 2 years at the Office of the Ombuds at the University of California, Irvine. I want to share a few thoughts today about the impact Jared has had on our office and our team, but also speak about the impact he has had on our Ombuds profession, even in just the short span of 2 years in the field. The work that we do as Ombuds is a combination of helping people who are struggling with a problem, advocating for fairness, and mediating conversations to bring resolution. Jared's parents shared with us when we met them recently that a portion of Jared's middle name, assigned before he was born, translates to mean chief peacekeeper. So it is obvious that Jared was destined for this line of work long ago. Jared actually found us. Early in 2021, he had reached out to me and others in our office requesting an informational interview about our work. And he made such a positive impression on us that we asked him to join us short-term to fill a temporary need in our office. When a permanent position became available soon after, we opened a search and ended up selecting Jared to join our team, which included my colleagues, Sean and Jean. The four of us had a really good run, filled with hard work, exciting projects, great memories, and more than a few good laughs. Jared brought a fresh perspective to our work and helped make our processes, our thinking, and even our website much improved through his thoughtful questioning and his care for how to make our organization a better place. Jared was a rising star in the Ombuds field, and he became involved in several committees and planning efforts for our professional Ombuds associations, and he was even in the final stages of completing a chapter for a soon-to-be-published book on the Ombuds field. Many of our colleagues sent lovely comments about how Jared had impacted them as people, had impacted their work, and had made a significant contribution to our profession. They described Jared as the shining star we all saw. In conclusion, I'd like to read just a few quotes from others who wrote these words about him. A staff member at UCI, Melissa Aguirre, wrote, "Jared was clearly exceptional with so much to offer the world. The UCI community will miss him." One of our Ombuds colleagues, Marcia Riley, wrote, "Jared joined our profession in 2021 and was all in from the start, joining multiple committees and contributing his thoughtful and kind insight in every conversation he joined. He was truly at the beginning of his calling, and we will miss him dearly." And finally, Ombuds colleague Alicia Booker wrote, "Jared was ambitious, bright, curious, and kind. I sincerely appreciate his willingness to volunteer in multiple capacities within the International Ombuds Association and his eagerness to learn more about our profession. He did not shy away from having the hard conversations and exploring ways we can make things better. We will miss your light, Jared, and we will continue your legacy. Thank you."
Lovely message. But we can ask Noe. Noe, do you want to? Is there something you want to say? Noe.
Just thank you so much for holding this. It's great learning more about his work and about the community that he built. And it just is very touching. And thank you from our family and to teach us more about the work that you guys do.
Thank you. I have to play my video also because, like I said, that's the Jared that I know. Good. And of course, I mean, I think Jared, of course, has introduced himself, but maybe later I'll take you through one report that Georgetown had put out. Daniela has been part of our discussions, and she's from Georgetown University. She's an ombuds there, and they've taken out a report. We'll go through that because there I saw that mention of mediation being a very small aspect. Of course, Jared will tell us from his experience. So please, Jared, please tell us how you look at it.
Yeah, definitely. So in terms of on the Ombuds side, mediation is definitely a core part of one of the skills and techniques we employ to help improve communication channels as a function of our office. And so when visitors come to us, and for people that may be watching that may not know what a visitor is, it's a general term for someone that may be within the organization that can bring a concern or dispute to the Office of the Ombuds, and are sometimes called visitors. And so any visitor could come to our office, and sometimes as they begin explaining what their concern or issue or conflict is, they realize that mediation could be a great tool, among other things such as providing more resources from the Ombuds office or just receiving some conflict coaching. But oftentimes mediation can occur. Now, in terms of a percentage of how often an Ombuds does a mediation of it, in terms of its time, in terms of other ways of assisting a visitor, I'd say that widely depends. But our office at UC Irvine has probably does at least maybe a couple mediations each month or so, maybe one or two depending on type of situation. Sometimes depending on if you include a little bit more of the shuttle diplomacy, longer term mediation, which may not be directly in the same room and immediate. If you include that in, that's something that we often do as well, because we do facilitate a lot of different types of negotiations. And so with the broader definition of mediation of just facilitating negotiations, that does happen on a more often basis, depending on how you look at it. So that's a little intro about how I view mediation in the Ombuds workplace.
But do you also take out a report on this? The background of this discussion is that I've been saying that we need these people like Jared who have that mediator mindset to be doing mediations, because in the Ombuds office they're doing lots of things, and I was telling him, this is, of course you'll hear that later, that there aren't too many people like him, people with that mediator mindset, that we need them out there doing the mediation. So this was basically what we were talking about, but I'm going to go back to that because no, one second.
The last thing that we'll do so far in my experience.
Look, how I look at it is that those people with the mediator mindset, they're not so many in this world. Okay. But yes, a lot of activities are looked at as mediation and people do that activity, but we need people who have that mindset to be doing this only, because we don't have too many of them. So that was one of the reasons why I said, let's look at it as an outsourced concept, and that person doing exclusively the mediation part of it, and everything else that has to go into the office. Of course, you can have someone else, because we need these people to be doing work for lots of people. Now, Jared is only doing it for one organization. We need him out there to be doing it for tens of them. So that's when mediation takes off, when good people are actually doing it. So on the other end, we were, of course, that artificial intelligence session also, we were speaking about this, that ultimately some people say that we will make a mediator, and that of course, I keep saying 40-hour factories that you can make a mediator. But if you can make a mediator in a 40-hour factory, then you can make a very good machine to be a mediator. It's just putting inputs. That's what you're doing. We'll put an input. We'll tell this machine or this person what the output has to be. You should of course, both of you may have seen that session. I don't know, but that aspect of showing empathy and feeling empathy difference, what we were speaking about. So to show it, machine can learn very well. And look at the numbers that we'll have. We'll have so many mediators out there, the ones who are made mediators like that, and the ones who bring the human touch, and that they're actually human beings rather than machines. They will have then they can do all those nice things that they have to do. So that's why this discussion keeps coming up. So Jared, please, your thoughts on that.
Oh, well, I definitely will have to watch that session on artificial intelligence. That definitely is very pertinent today. And a question that a lot of people are asking, about what can be replaced and what cannot be replaced by artificial intelligence. But one thing that I thought you had mentioned that was interesting was the concept of, and kind of bringing in that concept of organizational mediators and more internal work versus outsourced work, which ombuds may have a lot of internal organizational ombuds. So of which I'm one. So I solely look at the constituents, both of the university that I'm at, as well as people affiliated with the university or anyone that has a university related concern or question, even if they're not necessarily a student or an employee. But it's still surrounded by this singular university. There are definitely outsourced ombuds that do work for different organizations, whether that is governments or for corporations, for nonprofits that do this type of mediation or ombuds work and do a lot of mediations in that stead. And similarly, as you're talking about, there's definitely mediators, and that both do outsourced mediator work. So they come into an organization for a particular issue or problem, or maybe they're contracted to have to be kind of a mediator presence if anyone needs it, as well as having internal mediators. So sometimes organizations do have someone that is more hired, or maybe they have a similar role. Maybe it's like an HR manager that has been trained in mediation, has gone through mediation classes, that now has set up a mediation program wherever that they're at, and does it that way too. So there's a lot of different ways and combinations of how these skills that cross mediation and ombuds work end up being brought into the conflicts and where they are. So that, I think that's interesting to see, and how that continues to take shape, especially now with the advance of technology, breaking down barriers of location and geographical space, and having access to people and to disputes that before would have been tough to jump around to physically.
Well, look, I don't know whether you read about that World Mediation Circle that I'm creating, and as part of that, creating mediation circles in, of course, communities, schools, and also organizations. So when that happens, that this person who's the outsourced mediator, for let's call this person the outsourced mediator, that person creates that circle in the organization. But what needs to be done is identifying those people with the mediator mindset within the organization, and then creating that resource internally. So it's about then those people who have that mindset within the organization being used within the organization for simple things. I mean, if there's a contract being drafted, get them into that picture. If there is any kind of dispute that comes up, these people should be the ones brought in first. The outsourced person comes in, can then come in later. So this person is creating that whole, I mean, the resources within. Because I'm telling you, the people with that mindset, mediator mindset, there are not so many out there. So we have to bring them out. So I just felt that way it works well. So the person has a role to play, and then he's gaining much more experience. So comes in maybe more complex things you want to bring that person in. But otherwise, these people who are already within the organization have the mindset, you're creating that culture within the organization of mediation. So that's the thought I have behind this organizational mediator and the mediation circle. So some
definitely.
thoughts on that,
Yeah,
please.
no, that's a huge, I love that. The only thing better than a mediator is 10 mediators. So I love that idea, and being able, because I think a lot of people sometimes naturally have these skills. Even if they're not formally trained in mediation, they're still mediators, right? In the workplace or with your friends and family, even if you're not trained and you don't know these conflict skills, a lot of people are still in these situations where there is conflict, and they play the role as a mediator in many senses. And one of the things that I actually love about being an ombuds is that you have the opportunity to do training and to create more mediators and to create more people that are better informed about conflict. And I think that's perhaps that's one of the benefits of being an internal organizational ombuds. One thing our ombuds office does do is every year we do a very comprehensive basic mediation training. And we have a large group of different people throughout the university. So in a single classroom, you will get undergraduate students with doctors or nurses from the medical side of UC Irvine, with administrators, with faculty and staff members all together. And we do a full week-long, pretty much 40-hour mediation training for the exact purpose that you're talking about. Because we realize that there are other people that frequently engage in different types of disputes wherever they are. And the hope is that what we're trying to do is teach them about listening, about asking questions, about going through a more step-by-step process of mediation, to be able to get some practice about what those situations look like, how to have empathy, and how to potentially diffuse situations so that they could take that back throughout wherever they are in the organization, as well as their personal lives as well, to be able to better handle disputes. And so I think I'm glad that you bring that up. That's a really valuable part of, I think, the role as an ombuds, but just for anyone to be able to do, and is a good goal to be able to take some of the skills that we do have and make sure that other people have them as well.
Because whenever you say training and whenever you say to tell people how to have empathy or show empathy, I am saying those people who do that, let them do it for machines. Program those machines in this way, give them that content. They will have access to obviously the best material in the world. Today itself, I'm sure they've already picked up all those resources, all our chat GPTs and others are already picking up that content. So they have all that in them. All the best universities you might go to, they have thousands of those universities within themselves. So content, not a problem. Showing things, all that is available. All the training programs in the world, just put it into that. Nothing, and let that machine do that work, because I'm telling you that the part of making mediators that's happening, and when you said 40 hours and that part of it, the output that you are getting, I sometimes feel, I've seen some people who've gone through that. It's a very, very theoretical, do this, do that kind of thing. Okay, it's like input, output kind of thing. I think the machine can do a better job with that. So I don't think there should be any fear for the mediators also, anyone there, if a better job is being done. I don't know, Erin will have her thoughts on that. Erin, what are your thoughts on that? Spirituality aspect on mediators. What terminology do you want to use? Human mediator, or what do you want to call them? Or
well, that's an interesting concept that I've not thought about this before. I've not heard about, this concept before. So it's quite interesting.
So what we'll do is, whenever we refer to mediator, it will be the human mediator, and then a person or a machine which has been fed content, and we are told that now we are making a mediator. Let's give it some other terminology. Let's not call it a mediator. Let's call it something else. What terminology can we use?
What did you come up with in your AI session? What
Yeah.
what
No, we
terminology
did.
did you use for
We
that?
were just talking about this aspect. Of course, look,
Oh,
it
okay.
was a little older generation there. So,
Oh,
of course, these were thoughts that take time for people to understand that this can happen with machines. Content can be put out there, and what output happens. So, what we did was we opened ChatGPT and we had an actual session. It was a simple one because look, we just came up with it. I just opened ChatGPT. So it's very simple that Mohammed was supposed to supply books to Shireen and he did not do it. After that, we just did an actual session on ChatGPT, which Jared came out with the problem and we took ChatGPT through it. Interesting output came out from that. So that's another the whole session there. So yes, Peyton, anything on whatever we discussed, whatever Jared said, any thought on that as part of this video?
Man, it just reminded me of a class that I had actually forgotten that I had taken at Pepperdine on, online mediation, right? And kind of that whole field that this just evoked that recollection that there are, some mediations that take place completely online. I'm not even talking about over the Zoom space. I'm talking about like in chat rooms, right? Where they have a mediator in chat. And so, yeah, it's certainly like, well, why not ChatGPT? Kind of filling in for some of those spaces where and I appreciated the point that you made actually about the difference between showing empathy and feeling empathy. There is an element of that human connection that I think cannot be fabricated. And it's quintessential to the work that it is that we're doing, as Jared describes, around, bringing people closer into their humanity. Yesterday, I was at the Getty Villa, the Getty Museum, and was met this great family of folks, and we were walking together and began talking. When I told them about what I did, they immediately began to ask me questions about what's going on right now in Israel and Palestine. They were like, "What would you do in this situation?" And I'm like, "Okay, that's a loaded question." I'm like, but one of the things that I did tell them was the importance of the opportunity to be able to connect human beings. That if you're trying to, you won't be able to mediate these groups, right? What you have to do is connect at the human levels with individuals within these groups, and understand their stories, their paths, their hurts, their needs and interests, right? And that's where the magic really happens, right? And that's where that begins to ripple out. So I think so many people are thinking about, well, how do we bring these two groups together? And that's a very hard thing to do because there's a lot of groupthink. But where it is possible in the realm, in the space that I believe we all tap dance in as mediators is how do we bring individual people together within these organizations to begin to ask these questions about what are we doing here and why? And how can we become better together, right? And that's kind of the process through which, and they were very appreciative of that perspective as well. So yeah, I'm really glad that, and I will certainly be following up on this video to see kind of what ChatGPT came up with. And I also want to watch the other one around the diversity, equity, and belonging from some of the other Pepperdine folks as well, because that's specifically the field that I'm in and the work that I do. So I was just with the vice president of diversity, equity, and belonging at Pepperdine 2 days ago, talking about some of the things on campus that we're hoping to bring in this area. So yeah.
This is when you said about that this whole human touch and connecting on that level. This is where people like Jared would do it. This is where you get there's a certain energy that you bring in. There is no concept of programming it. It comes from within. And the fact that you connect at the heart level, connect at the soul level, there is a spiritual development that you have based on which you can actually connect at those levels. So everyone can't do it. So that's where, that whole aspect of talking about Jared comes in. Yes, Michelle, anything that you?
I just wanted to say thank you again also for this venue that you've put together and around the really important topic. And I believe that our family will continue to be connected to this field in various ways, whether it's through the scholarship, helping to support the scholarship or helping to do other things related to that, just because Jared had such a passion for the field, and we want to see it continue. And we were trying to assist with the folks who were doing the book and the chapter and providing notes and information that Jared had put together, and some of the analysis and research that he'd also done independently. So we will continue to support that, and I really thank you for all the things that you are doing in this area.
Well, thank you very much. And connected to the extent that you people should actually be part of mediation as such, and of course the work that I'm doing definitely should be part of it. I mean, I'm sure if you brought up Jared and the mediator mindset that he had, I'm sure both of you have that, and I don't know about, I'm sure Michaela also has that, and so you people definitely should get involved, can get involved. There's lots of work in relation to the World Mediation Circle, creating mediation circles everywhere. So definitely people should be part of that. So thank you very much for being, of course, part of this. I mean, if Roger just told me, I don't know how, I mean, he just sent me that message. I had no idea of what had happened. And then, I mean, the moment he told me, of course, it was shocking. I said, we need to remember, I mean, that it's people like him whom I call mediators. Those are the people we need as mediators. Of course, the other part of it, you already heard that discussion that I have about the programming of people as mediators. So, yeah. So, Roger, anything that you?
Maybe just that. Yes, we're all shocked, and we're all going to miss Jared, and Michelle and I and the family are just so impressed with everyone that has stepped up to help us remember and memorialize Jared, because he did so many cool things. Some of it that we're just finding out, and so Vikram, thank you for this forum. We want to thank the Strauss Institute for starting that scholarship to give new people coming into the field of mediation that opportunity to pursue it. Hopefully that will continue. Also, the pantry over in Hawaii, Jared was very passionate about, started a memorial fund for that people have been able to donate to, and Jared was very passionate about solving world hunger, and that's an opportunity for people to give. And then the South Bay Chinese Service Club recognized Jared's contributions in community service, and they created a scholarship also in his name. We wanted to thank them for doing that to get high school students going into college more involved in their community, and there's an opportunity to do so there. And then lastly, one of the fun things, you saw how Jared enjoyed the outdoors and sports and things like that. The Tri-Valley Pickleball Club actually dedicated their last tournament and future tournaments. It's going to be in Jared's name, and that's another wonderful way that people can remember Jared. He really enjoyed playing pickleball. So we just wanted to thank all those folks that are helping us through this difficult time. But if people can remember some of the things that he did, and like what you're doing today, Vikram, kind of remember the things that he was passionate about and the impact that he had, that makes it a lot easier for us, and very comforting for us to know that people are going to remember some of the things that Jared really wanted to accomplish in his 25 years here on this earth.
We're definitely going to remember him, and we are going to celebrate him 8th April next year. We're going to celebrate him. Zoom link remains the same. We'll do it at the same time, 8 a.m. Pacific time. So please drop in. I mean, of course, I'll put it out there, but we are going to see each other. Of course, we'll see each other before that. I'm sure you'll get involved for the work that I'm doing in whatever way. So thank you very much. Anything that, I don't know, Michaela, Noe, anything that you want to say? Michaela had to leave. Noe, anything that you want to say to us before we?
I think it's great that with mediation, bringing people together, that even after his passing, you provided an avenue in which we can all come together. So I'm very thankful for the opportunity to learn more about what Jared loved doing and the community he loved being a part of. So thank you for having us.
Thank you very much for coming. Peyton, you have the last word.
No pressure, huh? Yeah, I just think that we just all continue to remember Jared and honor Jared and celebrate Jared through this lifeline of mediation that is, I think, truly the heartbeat that binds the world together. And just like how Jared and I were when we first realized that this was an actual thing, I think being ambassadors, of this message is going to make so many people in this stir crazy world right now feel comforted that there are folks that truly believe in us being able to find new ways to bridge these gaps, because it's just so not broadcasted out there. And the more we share this message and this gospel of mediation, if you will, I think the more people will start to find home as well in this. So I think that's our call, and that's our challenge for us moving forward.
I think the important thing is that there are so many people who have that mindset. They're out there. They're not valued in the world as such. So we have to value them and bring them out. There is so much that they need to contribute. There's so much they need to do, because we moved away into this whole adversarial concept, of course, of dispute resolution and, of course, politics, advocacy, activism. But we need the other side, and that's where, of course, that World Mediation Circle, that's what it's all about. So yeah. But Mandy, that you've come back, is there anything that you want to say? If you unmute, it'll be good. If you don't unmute, not a problem.
Yes. I had this question to ask. Is it peacemaker or peacekeeper, the name of your son?
Oh, yeah, Mandy, I mentioned at the beginning. Yes, his Hawaiian name, his whole Hawaiian name is Keli'ikuikahi. Kelei, K-E-L-I-I, Kelei means chief or leader. Kuakahi means peacemaker. And Keli'ikuikahi was given to him before he was born, and it was just fortuitous that he kind of lived up to his legacy in our family. He was always the peacekeeper in our volatile, fun, energetic family. He was always in the middle of keeping everything together and making sure everyone was at peace and having fun. So yes, Keli'ikuikahi means chief peacemaker.
Peacemaker. Yes.
Yeah, because my Mandy is very technical. Okay, you can't. If you say peacekeeper, then she's going to get technical into that aspect. So that's why she likes this. She gets into this interpretational thing. She's good at that. But
I think there's other aspects to the Hawaiian language has a lot of nuance in its definitions, and a couple of other nuances that I really liked about the Kuikahi part was the unity and bringing together and unified. And so unifying was another aspect of his name, which I thought was really wonderful.
Because actually this is, of course, this is indigenous people mediation circle that I, of course, have created, and I've discussed on that. There is so much out there in relation to the, thought process, the work that people are doing. Just from a word by itself, giving someone that name, and then does the person live up to the name, or that person already has that and the name gets attached to the person? We don't know where all it comes from, but those are very interesting areas. Yeah, Michelle wants to.
Yeah, he doesn't, this is something that we never really spoke about, and it wasn't at the forefront of our family. So I don't think he even knew the definition of his name for most of his life. He probably only realized that later.
Wow.
So thank you very much for coming in. Obviously, very nice meeting you people. We'll stay in touch and you get involved. Definitely, Peyton, please. You were part of of course, all of us are going to be part of it. You're Roger, Michelle also going to be part of it, but you're going to be actively involved, a little more actively involved. Okay, so please be involved. So thank you very much. And of course, we'll see you 8th April, 8 a.m. Pacific time for sure. And of course, before that.
And we keep the promise to keep the spirit alive. That's the only thing we can do, but it is huge. I believe it's love.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much, Vikram, and the family really appreciates that. It means a lot to us.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
everyone.
Bye.